there's no question that what happens for a reason. And if you believe that, then all the bad stuff that happens to you, all the good stuff, everything that happens to you, you will take it as an opportunity to do something great. You can't have regrets for the bad things that happen to you. They're just as important as the good things. I've learned way more from my mistakes than I have from my success. I said Hollywood would die the day I pulled out of town.
We're good. You got your seatbelt on? Seatbelts? Seatbelts!
We're gonna find out just how mentally healthy this country is over these next few years. Maybe a few months. Shit. I just don't think there's time in life to hold a grudge. You gotta get through it, move through it, figure it out, look for something fun to do. But don't ever miss an opportunity to call someone out for being a dick. I wasn't the one who started this bullshit, but I will do what it takes to end it. One of the nice things about being canceled is you get a lot of time to yourself. I mean, that's what COVID brought a lot of us. You got to spend a lot of time with your family. You got to spend a lot of time with just the people around you. And I think that's why we have so many divorces now, and dating is kind of moving in a weird direction, and so many things are on the move. They're changing. We're altering society as we know it. Heck, we're going to have changes in currency. Gold is making its way to $5,000 an ounce. Now, if you don't know what the significance of gold making it to $5,000 an ounce is, if you're a person who scares easily, I don't suggest looking up what the significance of gold climbing to $5,000 an ounce is. That usually would have predicted that we are almost at World War III, that everything's about ready to explode and blow up. But don't worry about it. Don't worry. Everything's okay. Everything's fine. I think we've got some serious stuff to overcome, and it's going to be fun. Well, I mean, anything will be more fun than the last few years. You have to admit that. I mean, I know that there's been a fair share of people who've gone a little overboard with some chemical dependency. Just over the last 6-8 years, if you had any character flaws, they were probably significantly highlighted. You probably either figured out who you were and became better, or you fell into a deep, dark depression and you fell off the planet and something might have gone really bad. I hope not the latter, but that's what's happened. People have either stood up and grown through all this, or they went the other direction. And I want to make sure we all go the right direction. I still love all my friends, all the acquaintances, all the people that I've played golf with and interacted with and socialized with over the last 35 plus years in this community. But if you've canceled me and just written me off, pegged me as whatever you want to peg me as, that's your right. That is your God-given right to do that. If you want to continue propagating that and spreading reasons as to why I should be canceled, I guess that's your right too. But if what you're spreading is not a true narrative or actually what happened in my case, then that's defamation and slander. And that's not something I recommend doing to anybody. You want to push people up. You want to give people motivating reasons to keep going, making themselves into something, doing something, figuring stuff out, being positive and outward and social. That's what I've been my whole life. And because I've done that my whole life and been the communicator and the talker and the person who helps everybody solve their problems and resolve conflicts, because I've been that person, that's what made me the family scapegoat. Have you heard of the family scapegoat? I'm not going to go into it here. Maybe I'll do it down the road. We'll get into it if we get into some more discussion type stuff. But look up. What happens to the family scapegoat, especially during a time like this? I was the one that everybody used to get stuff done. I was the communicator. I was the healer. I was the one who was called when there was an emergency. So look up the scapegoat. That'll give you a little bit of an idea of why I was canceled. When you really look and break down what happened or why I was canceled, it was for two basic reasons. I supported Donald Trump, and I got involved in a very risky business that scared my wife, and she got talked into divorcing me and destroying me. She got to build her own business. Instead of building it and supporting our family, I guess she wanted to build it and support her. So she got what she wanted. My wife always got what she wanted. I always gave her what she wanted. This time she wanted to get what she wanted, and she wanted me to be destroyed. That's how life works. Fly close to the sun, sometimes you get burnt. Well, we're still finding out what the exact reasons are, but I think it had a lot to do with family legacies. I think it had a lot to do with money. I think it had a lot to do with power. And I think it had a lot to do with really bad timing. It all happened during a political crisis that our country's never seen, that nobody knew even existed between Republicans and Democrats. And we really found out why nobody ever talked about politics when we were kids. Gen X, nobody talked politics when we were kids. And now we see why. I got away and escaped from my dad's parents. Not escaped, but I wasn't going to buy into their overly Christian values. And the reason I didn't buy into their overly Christian values, all they used those values and teachings for was to shame and control. And I didn't like shaming and controlling and people judging me when they don't know me. So I made up my mind early, you know what? I don't think I want to be a part of this. Maybe I'm not a Republican. Sorry, guys. And I stepped back. And I didn't see my family. I haven't seen people on that side of the family in 35 years. And it's a huge family. I mean, huge. I've got like 17 first cousins, like 37 second cousins. It's mammoth. I had my family, my mom's parents, my step family. But the step family, that's another point of contention when it comes to the division and the cancel culture. Because a lot of step families were politically mixed. Maybe they weren't politically mixed on the surface, but when all this took place, that's where the political division ended up showing itself. And people were eliminated, divorced. Heck, everybody's gotten a divorce. And through those divorces, you had to ruin people. You had to say they were horrible. You had to cancel them. You had to get them out of the family. We can't give them family money. They're not one of us. And there's been elder financial abuse, and there's been chaos, and people isolated and abandoned, and it's been horrible. But what I didn't understand that like Republicans are mainly Christians, Democrats might not have religion, but the politics are the religion. When you challenge the politics, you're challenging their God. That's how I view it. Argue it. Comment. Let me know. I think politics to some is a religion. And now we're finding out that being right is a religion. Some people can't accept responsibility, can't accept ownership for just, maybe I misjudged it. Maybe I misjudged what's going on. We used to be a society and a community of people who could articulate complex or simple ideas and be able to disagree, be able to just have a differing opinion. But we let that get out of control. We let it get to a point where it was going to just now affect everything about our relationships with neighbors, with friends, with family, with colleagues, with everybody. We can fix this collectively, But we can't fix it with the tribalism and the isolation and the insisting that people be canceled and eliminated from your life. I'm going to find new friends. I'm going to go out and find new people that I can interact with on a regular basis. Who knows? Maybe someday I will find another spouse. Maybe someday I will get married again. But until I am done building what I want to build, no chance. It's too much risk. I think in the last show, I talked a lot about relationships between men and women. And I do hope that my sons can have relationships with women without fear of being accused and canceled themselves. It's happened to friends' kids. It's happening in high school. It's happening all over. Heck, it happened at Bellarmine, a weird one at Bellarmine. Whoa. And we got to get back to our roots a little bit. We got to get back to doing stuff. We got to get back to planning activities and adventures and camping and fishing. I'm not leaving this state. You might cancel me. You might think, oh no, Dave, we can't. He ran a cannabis business. Nope, he's into drugs, and nope, we heard all sorts of stuff. Whatever. Come and talk to me. I'll tell you what happened. It's a funny story. There'll be a book and a movie. So my narrative will get sorted out. I'm not going to worry about straightening out my narrative via this broadcast. Maybe you want to start managing your own money. I'll help you do it. With AI, it's endless as to what you can accomplish yourself. Heck, I'm taking my aunt to court, opened a Tedra case, and I'm litigating it myself. Would have cost me probably $5,000 to do this with a lawyer. Now, I take a lot of risk on. I could end up paying my aunt's attorney's fees and everything if I screw up. But still, take life into your own hands. Take your personal finance into your own hands. You can do anything you want to do. And now with AI, you can do even more things that you want to do. Do art, play music. This show is not going to be just about me talking and spewing my personal problems and whining about my cancellation. I might do it for a little while longer. I deserve at least that. I'm going to make a film, hopefully launch a couple TV series. Independently shot, independently produced. I need some actors. If anybody wants to give acting a try, reach out to me. We'll start out with some skit stuff first, maybe move into a little dramatic sequence shooting stuff. If anybody has any interest in giving acting a shot, nothing big at all, just some daily. We'll get together on the weekends, maybe shoot a couple sequences, try a couple scenes out, see how it goes. I'm going to start putting the comedy routine together, and I'm going to give comedy a shot. Life is not life without a community of family and friends. My family, destroyed itself. Too much narcissism, too much ego, too much toxicity. There's no fixing it. I've tried. My stepmom and I, that is my family. My stepmom is my family, and that's it. Nobody else. It's sad, isn't it? Like my neighbors said, maybe it's me that's the common denominator. I guess we'll find out. We'll find out as things progress, because if nobody wants to hang out with me, if everybody's too afraid to hang out with me because I'm canceled, I'm just going to broadcast. I'm going to broadcast, and I'm going to build my community and my family and my friends right here. My personal opinion is that I was canceled and everybody piled on because I supported Trump, because I didn't want Hillary to be president. That was it. I thought Hillary was a mean, toxic woman. And it's actually proven now that she was. If you listen to John Kiriakou, she treated Bill like crap. I don't think she would have been respected in the global community, the world leaders. I didn't think it was a good call. I thought Trump would have been a good fit. And for that, I lost it all. I wish Trump would stop arresting all the illegals. I would like to see just the criminals be arrested and deported. I think there are more people who should be allowed to stay here. I don't think they went about it the right way. I don't think the breaking of the law, and I just don't think mass, widespread breaking of the law is the answer to combating Trump. You're not going to get me to believe that. I wish there was a way that we could go about this without having to arrest and deport everybody. But you know how we get there? We get there through discussion and idea sharing and finding out what we have in common, not what our differences are. So why don't we start doing some more stuff that proves that we want to find out what we have in common and not what our differences are, and move forward? Don't you think that's the best idea? That's probably what's best for the kids. Or do we just want to teach the kids, when you decide a person is bad, you get rid of them and you never speak to them again, you pretend like they don't exist? That's not how life works. You know better than that. I realize there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of PTSD, a lot of fear, and that everybody who thinks if we followed more rules and we did things in a certain order at a certain speed, and if everybody drove the speed limit and blah, 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 that life would suddenly just become harmonious. If you're full of anxiety and fear on a regular basis, if you can't go outside without being afraid that a white man is going to talk to you or say something to you or look at you, if you have irrational fears, seek therapy. But let's not let all of our traumas and all of our issues spill over into everything else. There could be a lot more things accomplished if we didn't do that. And I know it's happening around here. I know it is.